Hey guys, my name is The Rock today. I am with Markiplier. Hi.
Hey there, how you doing?
Good about yo.
Pretty good. I'm a bit tired from staying up late recording videos last night, but I'm excited for what today brings.
What is your favorite video that you recorded?
Oh, that is a hard one. I really love my choose your own videos that I do, but there's also a special place in my heart for my old FNAF videos, since that's what really made my channel what it is. And also the horror videos. There's just too many favorites.
What is your favorite Five Nights at Freddy video?
The FNAF Sister Location Custom Night. I got to play as Enard and the animatronics were a lot of fun, even though it was very confusing.
How got the name of Markiplier?
Well, it was really dumb. I think I was like 19 years old. In my head, I thought, you know what? I think it's time people get to know me with a more original internet name. So I decided I'm going to create the best name of all time. I mixed my first name, Mark, and my last name, Fishbach. And then the ear came about just from me thinking it was clever, and it ended up being Markiplier.
Five Nights at Freddy's Urbex.
Yeah, the Urbex series was great, and also terrifying. The amount of times those animatronics just pop out of nowhere is insane.
You play That's Not My Neighbor Nightmare.
Yeah, that's right. That was really fun to play. Also very terrifying. Those games are so spooky. I don't think I've ever screamed more than I have playing those games.
Poppy Playtime.
Oh yeah, Poppy Playtime was a lot of fun to play. It was nice to get back into some horror after playing a bunch of funny games. I gotta say, the voice acting in that game is phenomenal.
Amnesia the Bunker.
Oh man, Amnesia Bunker. It was definitely a return to form for Amnesia. It had its moments of horror and was the best game they made since The Dark Descent.
What is the creepiest part?
You know, one of the most terrifying moments was just how dark the game was. You had to use this lighter to navigate your surroundings, and some of the areas were almost pitch black. I remember walking through this pitch black basement, and I turned, seeing nothing, then turning back, and a monster was standing right in front of my face. I was shaking for several minutes after that.
Power Wash Pals, you play with Jacksepticeye.
Yeah! Power Wash Pals has been really fun to play with Jack. His energy always makes everything so much funnier. We just played together today and recorded a whole 2 hours of power washing shenanigans.
Among Us.
How can I forget that one? Among Us was such an important game for me back in the pandemic. There was so much hype around the game that it was kind of impossible to not get into it. A few friends from YouTube that I hadn't talked to in years all got together again and just played for hours every day. It was one of the best times I've had online.
What's the funniest thing on the game?
Oh, there's so many. It's hard to pick the funniest moment, but we had this one moment where I was chasing someone in electrical and I caught them and we both just started running around the room, and for some reason neither of us tried to report the body. That went on for like a solid 30 seconds. It was crazy.
What's the hardest thing on Among Us?
Being the imposter without a doubt. You have to be able to make up a cover story on the spot if anyone sees you, and it's super stressful, especially during endgame where it's just you and a couple other crewmates. It's so fun, but it's definitely stressful.
Fall Guys.
Oh, Fall Guys was a ton of fun with friends. I remember playing it way back in 2020. When it first came out. There were just so many goofy moments where I'd be trying to get to the end and someone would throw a ball at me and I'd go flying off the map. Just stupid fun with friends.
Minecraft.
Yeah, Minecraft is a classic. I've been playing it since it was just a small indie game, and it's been so incredible seeing it grow into the phenomena it is today. It's definitely a game that's very close to my heart.
Tattletale.
Tattletale was great. I love horror games that have you hiding in a very small space and you can't move, and your only defense is an object that is limited use. The tension in those games is always so strong, and Tattletale was no exception. Also, the design for Tattletale and Mama are incredible.
What's the hardest thing about Mama?
Honestly, the hardest thing about Mama was how erratic she moved. She would come and go quickly, and it was so hard to anticipate where she'd be. Mama felt like one of the most unpredictable characters in any horror game I've played.
What's one game that you regret to buy?
Honestly, I typically find something to appreciate about any game that I buy, so I don't really regret too many purchases. But if I have to pick one, it might be Metal Gear Survive. I was so excited for that game because I love the Metal Gear series so much, and Survive just didn't capture the same magic for me.
Hello Neighbor.
Hello Neighbor was a great game. It had some interesting mechanics and the AI was so cool. The whole concept of playing as a house while the neighbor learns from you was really fresh at the time.
What is the hardest thing, Hello Neighbor?
Hardest part of Hello Neighbor was definitely the chases. The neighbor was so fast and there were so many things that could get in your way during a chase. Trying to escape from him was so stressful, and I found myself holding my breath during the chases, hoping that he wouldn't catch me.
Job Simulator VR.
Job Simulator VR was so much fun. It was always hilarious to see how the game would react when you pushed the limits of the game's mechanics. Like there's a scene where you're a chef and you have to prepare food, and when I first played the game, my first thought was to throw everything in the blender. Little did I know, the game had a mechanic designed specifically for that. It was hilarious.
What's the funniest thing on Job Simulator VR?
Oh, there's so many funny things that happen in the game, but I think my favorite is trying to do everything wrong. The game has responses for just about everything you can do. Like when you're a chef, you can mess up every order, and the game has specific responses for just about anything you do. I spent a solid hour in the chef section just making the most disgusting food I could imagine, just to see what the reactions would be.
Do you miss the old Markiplier?
Oh man, the early days of my channel were definitely special. Everything was just so much simpler and I had a lot less responsibilities. I definitely miss the feeling of those days, but I'm also happy with where I am now. I've been able to do so many things that I never thought I'd be able to do, and being able to spend my time doing what I love, truly a gift.
5 Nights at the Chum Bucket.
5 Nights at the Chum Bucket was so great. I loved how the creators perfectly captured the feel of the original FNAF games, but with such a creative twist. Instead of being chased by animatronics, you're being chased by the Krusty Crew!
What the hardest thing? 5 Nights at the Chum Bucket.
The hardest thing in 5 Nights at the Chum Bucket was definitely the camera system. The cameras were so low resolution that you could barely see what was happening, and the animatronics would move so quickly that it was hard to keep track of them. It made the game so much more intense and nerve-wracking.
What if 40 million subscribers? What's your big plans?
Oh man, if I ever got up to 40 million subscribers, I'd be so excited. I'd definitely want to do something special to celebrate. Maybe a big video or a live stream event or even a tour would be amazing. I'd also want to find ways to give back to the community, like doing charity streams or donations to important charities. It would be amazing to be able to use that platform to help make a positive impact.
You made a video called I Love Roblox.
Yeah, I made a video sharing my love for Roblox. I think Roblox is a platform that's really underappreciated. It has so many creative games and a really passionate community. I'm always amazed at the kind of creative things people can do in Roblox, and I've spent countless hours playing some of the games on there. I'm definitely a fan of Roblox.
What is your favorite game in your opinion on Roblox?
My favorite game on Roblox is definitely paintball. It's such an intense and competitive game. I love the feeling of trying to strategize with my team and coordinate attacks. One of my favorite moments was when I was playing with a group of friends and we were so in sync that we were able to coordinate attacks and completely wipe out the other team in one go. It was a great feeling of accomplishment.
How did you feel when playing Lixian's Roblox horror game?
I was super excited to play Lixian's Roblox horror game. Lixian is such a talented developer, and I was really looking forward to seeing what he came up with. The game was so scary and atmospheric, and the jump scares were so on point. It was really impressive to see how much Lixian was able to do with Roblox.
Scariest grandma ever, Granny.
Granny is definitely one of the scariest games I've ever played. That grandma is so fast and persistent, and the atmosphere in the game is so creepy. The sound design is especially great, with the creaky doors and the grandma's heavy breathing. Every time I play that game, I'm on edge the whole time.
Baldi's Basics?
Oh my gosh, Baldi's Basics is another game that's so stressful to play. That bald guy moves so quickly and he's so determined to catch you, and the sound of him running after you is so anxiety-inducing. And then there's the fact that you have to solve math problems to escape, and if you get the wrong answer, Baldi catches you. The whole game is just an exercise in tension.
What the hardest thing on Baldi's Basics?
In my opinion, the hardest thing about Baldi's Basics is solving the math problems quickly and accurately. The pressure is on when Baldi is right behind you and chasing you down, and if you get one problem wrong, Baldi catches you. It's so stressful trying to think quickly and accurately, especially when you're panicking and Baldi is right there on your tail.
What was your childhood?
My childhood was pretty happy overall. I had a lot of friends, a nice house, and a loving family. We would go camping and fishing all the time, and my parents encouraged me to try new things and explore. I also spent a lot of time playing video games and reading books, which I absolutely loved. I definitely have a lot of fond memories from my childhood.
Cooking Simulator?
I've actually played Cooking Simulator before. It's a really fun cooking game. You get to simulate being in a kitchen and preparing various meals, from simple dishes to complex ones. It's a lot more in-depth than I expected, and you really have to pay attention to what you're doing to cook well. It also has a fun multiplayer mode, so you can cook cook with friends, which I love.
What's the funniest thing you did in the game?
Oh man, the funniest thing I did in Cooking Simulator was definitely trying to make a pizza. I was so focused on getting all the toppings perfect that I forgot to put in the pizza dough. So when I put the pizza in the oven, it just ended up as this mess of toppings and sauce. It was such a hilarious mistake, and I was laughing the whole time.
Which thought about South Park?
South Park is such an iconic show. It's got such a unique sense of humor, and it's not afraid to push boundaries. I really appreciate how the show tackles social issues and political topics. It's definitely not for everyone, but it's always entertaining and thought-provoking.
What's your favorite episode?
Oh man, choosing a favorite episode is so hard, but I think I'd have to go with Make Love Not Warcraft. Such a classic episode. I love the idea of the boys getting so addicted to an online game that they start neglecting everything else in their lives. And the way they end up on the news as these legendary gamers is just so funny. Plus, the episode has some really great moments with Cartman and Kyle.
Logan Paul and you ruined their lives with World of Warcraft addictions.
That video was quite an experience. We ended up going with Logan Paul to help out a family who were struggling with their son's World of Warcraft addiction. It was definitely a surprise when we found out how deep the addiction had gotten, and the family was so grateful for our help. And of course, seeing Logan Paul interact with the family was a blast. He had us all laughing as usual.
You play World of Warcraft with Jacksepticeye and PewDiePie.
Yes, I played World of Warcraft with Jacksepticeye and PewDiePie. It was so much fun getting together and playing that game with them. I love teaming up to take on big raids and exploring the world together. We also found some entertaining ways to troll each other and had a lot of laughs along the way. It was a really great experience playing with them.
What's your favorite part about the game?
My favorite part about playing World of Warcraft has to be raiding with friends. There's just something so satisfying about coordinating with a group of people and taking down difficult bosses together. The sense of accomplishment you get when you finally defeat a boss after many attempts is one of my favorite feelings in gaming. Plus, it's just so much fun to chat and goof around with friends while you do it. I remember one raid in particular where we were trying to take down a really tough boss for days. We must have wiped like 50 times and it was getting really frustrating. But then, on our last attempt, we all came together and finally took the boss down. The feeling of excitement and relief was amazing, and we all just broke out laughing and celebrating. It was such a great moment.
What went said your fans and family?
My fans and family have been incredibly supportive throughout my career. They've encouraged me to keep going and to keep doing what I love, and I'm so grateful for that. Hearing their thoughts on my videos and seeing how much they love and appreciate what I do is one of the best feelings in the world. And of course, hearing about how my videos have helped people through tough times brings me so much joy. I'm so lucky to have such a great community behind me.
What went said to your haters?
Hate can be tough to deal with, but I've learned to just ignore it and focus on the positive. There will always be people who don't like what I do, but I've found that engaging with haters just gives them more attention and only makes the situation worse. So I just try to focus on the people who do enjoy my content and let the haters do their thing.
If you saw your childhood self, what said to him?
I'd tell my younger self to believe in himself and follow his dreams, even if they seem out of reach, and to not be afraid to take risks and try new things. I'd encourage him to keep creating and to never give up, because hard work and perseverance really do pay off. And of course, I'd tell him to always stay true to himself and never let anyone tell him that he can't achieve something.
What one veto that you wish to delete? This veto is bad.
I don't think there's really a video I would choose to delete. Each video is a reflection of where I was at that moment in time, and even if some of them are a little rough around the edges, they're still a part of my journey. I'm proud of how far I've come as a creator, and every video is a step in that journey. So even the videos that aren't my favorites have value to me, and I wouldn't change a thing.
Are you still friend with Jacksepticeye and PewDiePie?
Absolutely. I'm still very close friends with both Jacksepticeye and PewDiePie. We all started on YouTube around the same time and have been through a lot together. We've been there for each other through the ups and downs of our careers, and I'm so grateful for their friendship. We still play games together and collaborate on various projects, so our friendship is stronger than ever.
What the best gameplay that you play in your opinion?
The game I had the most fun playing probably had to be FNAF VR Help Wanted. I actually have very fond memories of that game. It helped me get over my fear of jump scares, and it was really fun.
What's one game that refused to play?
Oh boy, for a while I was terrified of playing the game Subnautica because I have a huge fear of deep dark waters. I actually did a whole series just to help me get over my fears.
Tell me a funny story.
How about the time I played Drunk Jenga? Basically, me and my friends were just hanging out and we thought we could spice up Jenga with a drinking game. But Oh boy, what a mistake that was. We got so trashed that by the end of the night, we couldn't even spell Jenga. It was a hilarious night, but definitely one of those what the heck did I do last night moments.
What the scary movie that you watch?
Oh man, there are a couple of scary movies that I've watched, but I think the one that messed me up the most was The Exorcist. The movie is pretty old, but the special effects hold up even today. And let me tell you, that movie had me sleeping with the lights on for a month.
What the best VR game that you play?
I'm gonna have to go with Half-Life Alyx on this one. I know it's a pretty obvious pick among VR gaming nerds, but I still love that game. The VR implementation is one of the best I've ever experienced. I was actually pretty mind blown when I was actually picking things up in the game like it was just an extension of my own body.
Did you enjoy recording Baldi's Basics Plus?
Oh yes, I did have a lot of fun with Baldi's Basics Plus. I really liked how the developers took the core gameplay of the original game and built upon it in a much more creative way. Plus, getting to play the remastered classic versions of the original levels was a great blast from the past.
This most scary game that you play Among the Sleep.
Oh man, I remember playing Among the Sleep, and I have to say it was a pretty intense experience. The game starts out with you playing as a 2-year-old who navigates through this creepy, dreamlike world, seeing things that are way too unsettling for a child. And let's not even get started on the jump scares. I was playing with a friend and we were both screaming like babies at some parts.
What about Darkness Dwells?
Darkness Dwells was pretty intense too. The atmosphere was so ominous and creepy that I was on edge the entire time. The game definitely knows how to build tension, even when nothing is happening on screen. I remember jumping at least 3 times while playing
Untitled Goose Game.
Oh, the Untitled Goose Game was a pretty fun and silly experience. You basically play as a goose who causes havoc in a quaint little village, honking at villagers and stealing their stuff. It's a pretty lighthearted game, but the whole time I was playing, I was feeling like a mischievous little devil.
Duck Season.
Oh man, Duck Season was a roller coaster. I remember playing it and thinking, oh, this is just a fun little duck hunting game. Boy, was I wrong. Without spoiling anything, I'll just say that Duck Season takes a pretty wild turn that left me questioning reality. If you like horror games, this one's a must play.
Do you miss your iconic red hair?
Ah, yes, my iconic red hair. I do kind of miss it, even though my current hairstyle is pretty rad. I gotta stay hip with the kids, you know? But truthfully, my iconic red hair was a part of a chapter of my life that I sometimes look back fondly on. I remember being at conventions and people would come up to me and be like, oh my god, the hair! I miss all the funny shenanigans I had because of that hairdo. But hey, change is a part of life, right?
You are 35-year-old now. How do you feel?
You know, turning 35 wasn't that big of a deal. I mean, I still feel like I'm 25, maybe even 15 at times. But there's something about getting older that I actually kind of enjoy. I feel like I'm finally hitting my stride in life and finding my true purpose. Plus, I get to say stuff like back in my day and you kids these days now, which is kind of hilarious.
Honolulu HI does stay hot or cold.
Oh yeah, Honolulu HI has some awesome weather all year round. If you're into beach days and sunny weather, this place is perfect. The temperature usually sits in the range of 70-85 degrees Fahrenheit, and even in the winter months, it's pretty mild. Of course, it can get a bit humid sometimes, but the trade-off is that you get to enjoy the beautiful ocean views and tropical vibes all year round.
Thanks for your time. Nice to meet you again. Take care.
You're very welcome. It was nice meeting you too. Take care and have a great day.
You can whatever you went.
Thank you all for watching. My name is Markiplier, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.